Sorry, I'm a bit ill today, so excuse me if I sound grumpy. It's mainly because I am.
He's not in a good mood today. He's not feeling too good.
I got fucking COVID or fucking a cold or I don't know, dog AIDS or something. Who knows, bruv? Who knows? Whatever it is, it's serious. Yeah. How's everyone doing? Good.
Evening. Mate, everyone's been smashing it.
Yeah, like proper. Seriously, it's sick to see you guys fucking progress. It's just like me and Lewis were chatting the other day, and just like our Insta story for the last couple, like at the beginning of this week, was just fucking nuts. Like, and like a lot of you don't even post on Insta as well. But I don't know, fucking sick. Well done, guys. Lewis, you got to let people in, you dickhead.
Oh yeah, no, I've got one job.
Fucking do that properly. I'll keep you around for that. Yeah. So yeah, like obviously everyone, well not everyone, but like a lot of you are getting very comfortable getting into trades, which is great. It's what we want, you know. Getting in is half the battle. But yeah, getting out is well, I don't know, just as if not more important, right? Like if you can get into all these fucking banging trades, if you can get into all these banging trades, but you can't figure out where to get out of them, then you know, not much point really, is there? So a lot of it is really like, hold on, let me find the chart and share a chart. A lot of it, right? Like if we take today just as an example, right? It's just about like where you're placed within a trading range, right? Right. So today, right? If we take, well, this is our larger range, right? From here to here, right? The longs from here are good. You know, like the longs, well, fucking good. Look at them. Do you know what I mean? But are we thinking that these are going to breach like daily highs? Well, no, right? Because we're trading from a premium, right? Simple as, right? So if you're getting in here, you need like here. I just targeted. I think I targeted like that high there, right? So I was like, well, these equal highs now have to go, right? And then took like, well, I fully closed two positions and closed like 80% of the other one that then got taken out, and I just got back in. But do you see what I mean? It's like, because after this happens, right? If we're getting in here, we don't know how deep this retrace is coming, right? We can surmise that yes, this will like this here, right? After we've seen this sort of price action, we can theorize and go, all right, potentially this move, right, has the potential to come and mitigate something like this, right? Because if we're looking at our larger range, right, we are trading discounted prices from the very lows of the range, essentially, right? So we can say, okay, well, you know, now we've had a break and a close above this, we could well see bullish price action up to here, right? But yeah, like don't be getting into trades here thinking these are going to do that, right? Because likely what you're going to get, right, is here's our trading range, right? We have a break of that trading range, right? A break of structure, whatever the fuck we want to call it, right? But it's a break of something, right? So in theory, we should get a 50% retrace, right? So we should get price come back down to below here, right? Like that's what should happen. Right? Obviously, it doesn't always, but like from here, right? I would assume there's an entry done in trade last night, which was unfortunate because it looked very clean. But yeah, it looks like there's something down here, right? Say we get in down here somewhere. Right, that is the trade. We can go, okay, this one we can hold more volume on, right? Okay, so initially, like here with this trade, right? And this is where it's important to like think of partials, think of stuff like this as well, right? Because here, right, what we've done, like I've never like none of my big trades are ever full volume, right? Like they've all got money off, right? They're all like 10, 20% volume, 5% volume, whatever, by the time they hit those fucking ridiculous numbers, but they're still paying. Do you know what I mean? Like, so here, right, like what we've had is a break of this low, like a run on it, right? Right, we've had a run on this low, right? So now what's our what like where? So yeah, all right. If this is the information we have, right, when you're getting into this trade, yeah, when you're getting into this trade here, right? And I'm assuming that I know everyone here is pretty fucking capable of getting into this trade. Where are we looking at first partials? Like what do you target? Where would you expect the next reaction? Right? Where's the next zone that you could expect a pullback, or where's the next zone that you could expect something untoward to happen that could be a threat to your position, basically? Like, where do you need to take money? Right? Everyone draw on there, like what you think. Yep. 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 All good area. Yeah. Yeah, the high could well be the high there. It's equal highs. But yeah, do you know what I mean? Like reasonably, right? By this point, if you're getting into this with a 1 pip stop, right? My first target for partials would probably be this high, right? Because by that point, the trade's running 1 to 50, right? I want some fucking money off that, right? Because that's a lot of risk to have open, right? And you have to, that is risk, right? You're running in profit, right? That profit is at risk. That is risk, right? That's risk to your equity. That's risk to whatever. That's risk, right? So I'd be thinking, cool, well, I've obviously had an extremely good reaction from that. Do you know what? I'll close 50% of that trade at 1 to 50, something like that, right? And then I'd more be looking up at these areas for hedges, right? Thinking, well, I'd rather leave the rest of this volume open, right? Until we more take out something like this high, right? And then I'll close another 25% of it, right? Because again, or well, wherever the fucking that liquidity is up there, right? I'll close another 25% of it, right? And then I've got like 25% of the trade left open. Well, not that much because you take off 20%, so you probably got like 17% of the trade left open, something like that, right? But all up in here, I'm just going to be thinking, well, I can just hedge this, right? So I could, you know, I mean, that's late, but yeah, whatever. So here we go. Okay, cool. I can maybe find a hedge in here somewhere where I took an L. I can maybe find a hedge up here, right, where we get a nice hedge. Hedge plays out, but you still want to be thinking, is this not just as a hedge to this, right? Because by the time you get here again, right, and well, here, right, say you get in this trade, right? Like this initially, right? Like let's say we traded this perfectly and we're in this in this fucking whatever long, right? And we get in this short, right? We want to still be thinking about this as an individual trade, right? Because this again is going to like it's like by the time I took like 80% of that off there, right? Because I was aware that what did we have? Well, structurally, like, yeah, it's internal structure and all of that sort of stuff, right? But internally, we have a higher low, right? So, yeah, we are waiting to see if that gets respected or not, right? So yeah, we take 8% of that off there, right? And then say we find a trade here, right? Well, now we've got to look at, like from an intraday perspective, we start looking at different ranges, right? We go, okay, here's our other range, right? So, right, here's our other range, right? We come into the bottom third of it, right? So say we're getting an entry down here somewhere, or well, say an entry presents after this, right? Like wherever it was, like here, I think, where I got in. I know a few people got in lower, but yeah, like still very solid trade wherever you got in that. I think I got in there somewhere, I'm not sure, right? But price has come from the bottom third of that range, right? So reasonably, I took, like, because we were coming up to news, I took partials here, right? Because I didn't know how the news would go. But at that point in time, right, like normally my first target would be above this high, right? Because that high is weak, right? That's what I'm expecting to get run, right? So that's my first target, because price has come to the bottom third of the range, right? Say this had just reacted off discount, right? Or off the EQ or off this or whatever, I'm going to take partials much quicker, right? Because it's not as well placed within the range. Does that make sense, yeah? To everyone so far? Sketchy, I'm trying to show you where I am today. Where are you, brother? Where are you? You're in a kebab shop? What? Yep. Sweet. But yeah. Yeah, so yeah, cool. All right. So now, right, and now, right, like say we're like now, like thinking logically, right? Think about what price is trying to achieve. Well, I mean, it's pretty evident that once you start seeing this reaction, right, and this follow through like this, and now this starts to follow through like this, right? Where's the logical target? Do you know what I mean? Like, what's price trying to achieve? Well, it's just fucked a bunch of people down here, right? It's probably going to fuck a bunch of people on the other side. Oh, nice. Where are you? In the cafe or something, bro? In the restaurant? Yeah, sick, man. I like that. Great that. Man's learning while eating. It's good. Was it tasty food? Was it good? But yeah. So yeah, where's the logical target? It's like draw on where you think price is trying to get to at that point in time. That, well, all of that's weak, isn't it? That's what you got to think now, right? Is all of this is weak. Like, look at how price is reacting. Is it going to stop there? Do you know what I mean? I mean, yeah, like for this trade, like first partials at like now are above this high, right? Like that's what we're saying now, right? But final TP or like a large fucking chunk of volume off is above this liquidity, right? And it's not generally good. Like you can use the supply or demand levels, but sometimes with pools of liquidity like that, it will react to the liquidity, right? So if you've got like a large pool of liquidity, like a previous daily high, previous like external range high, something like that, it's good to partial at the liquidity point because you will get strong pullbacks as we did today, right? And again, like if we get in anywhere here, all we're targeting, right, is that liquidity. That's it, right? And then we're out, right? And then price can do, you know, what it wants here, right? Which is this. Is that it's still going up on that? That finished. But yeah, like, so the main rules are, right, with management, if we're going to draw it, for instance, right, say we are in a bullish trend, right, and what we're going to do is we're going to think about this. Right, so what we're going to think about is just this range, basically. Right, and the few different variations we can get within this range. So let's say like we'll just trade like this leg to this continuation here, basically, right? So say we get in somewhere here, right? We've had some sort of reversal here, or whatever, right? Say we get in somewhere here, right? Our next, like, if this is in the top third of, well, obviously, if it's in the top third of this, right? If it hasn't moved down too significantly, right? Our next point is going to be a supply and demand level below the EQ of this. Like, this is obviously all best case scenarios, right? There may be other mitigating factors where we need to take profits here or whatever, right? But yeah, like essentially we're thinking, okay, we're looking for an SD level below here, right? Now, say we get in trades down here, right? Say we get into a trade here, right? Like we get another little potential continuation here, right? We're still thinking, right, with this trade, right, because it's from a premium, we want to get thingy off at a supply and demand level. So here, for instance, right, that's where we're going to take profit because we're not in the discount or like, well, we're not even in the discount, let alone the bottom third, right? So we want to target something here, right? Now, say we get another nice little trade down here, right? Again, here we can target that weak low, right? Supply and demand level below the weak low, something like that, right? Then say we get another pullback trade from here, right? Again, here, right? Volume doesn't get taken off, or no, volume gets taken off at the SD levels because we're not in the bottom third of the range, right? So yeah, like that's where we're taking volume off these trades, right? Now, say, you know, yeah, like we'll take volume up. Like here, we'll definitely, like here is like perfectly reasonable to just fucking TP this here, right? Because likelihood is that's not going to continue to run, right? Next thing is, yeah, here we want to take volume off and leave volume open, right? Because we may take out that high from there, right? Probabilities would suggest that if it's from discount, it can do that, right? Now, say we get another trade here again, you know, we're thinking, right, that weak low, you know, let's take partials at the weak low, open liquidity, something like that, right? Now, say we get in a trade here, right? This is where you should be Billy Big Bollocks and go, where does that make sense to target there? Yeah, exactly. The weak high, right? Like those are the trades that pay. Do you know what I mean? That's like the one to fucking 50 before volume's off, whatever, something like that, right? Yeah, exactly. Like that's how you manage trades really effectively, right? But it's always thinking about that placement within a range, essentially, right? How cheap. ZT's talks about it being fucking deals, right? Like finding good deals and then seeing those deals pay out, right? How good was the fucking deal you got? Was it like exceptional? Did you buy that fucking Lambo tractor for fucking £3 off Jezza? Or did you buy it for fucking 500 grand? Do you know what I mean? Like, how good was the deal? Was it really cheap? Was it really expensive? Was it this? Was it that? That's the best way to think of it, right? And that will dictate how much volume or whatever. Lambo tractor, yeah, Lambo tractor. But yeah, does that make sense to them? It's such a good show, isn't it? It's fucking so good. Yeah, I mean, in essence, it's a pretty simple concept, right? But I think a lot of people struggle through like misunderstanding where they are in a range, stuff like that, right? Like, or you get a bit greedy, or you get a bit. I still fucking do it. Don't get me wrong, of course. Like, I'll still take a trade and be like, "Oh fuck you, I'm not taking any volume." Oh fuck, I just took a break even on the 1 to 20 because I'm an idiot. right? And I didn't listen to the perfectly fucking logical rules that I've set out for myself over hours and hours and hours of backtesting. We still do it. Everyone still does it. But, you know, it is what it is. Like this is how you manage your profitability the best, right? Because you've got to get money off your trades. Otherwise, you just fucking, yeah. Like, there's no point in catching a 1 to 100 if every 1 to 100 you take break even. Yeah. You're just going to stitch yourself up. But yeah, does that how did on TV, mate? I'm trading you. I like software effects. I couldn't get on with personally. Like, it's a great tool, don't get me wrong. Like it's actually an incredible tool. But yeah, I like the interface. Is James on this call or not? No, I don't think he is. Yeah, maybe we should try. There's got to be a way you can do it. Who's no, James Spatty.
No, he's not on here, mate. He's too busy asking why you've not used the bot that he added for Zoom.
Huh? Oh, sorry. Yeah. But yeah, well, I don't know. It's a bit like we have other shit to sort out. Yeah, we'll try and get that. Like, actually, we need to try and get that bot call organized. Actually, what's everyone doing tomorrow? Yeah, let's do it tomorrow. I'll message Loki and see if he's on. But yeah, there's like, that's how you manage your book effectively, right? Like, is saying, okay, well, like, there's trades, you know, like, here I took like a trade down here, right? This to me was from like an extreme point, so that one I took a break even on, you know, is what it is, right? Because that's going to happen from time to time, right? But this for me was at the bottom third of this range, right? Yes, this low was weak and all of this sort of shit. But yeah, it had potential to maybe, well, I don't know, I didn't really, I was just making it up in my head, but yeah, in the range it was in the bottom third, so I took a break even on it. But yeah, like, that's how you want to think about managing trades, basically. Like, anything counter trend, you're effectively like the only place you can logically target, right, is the next SD level, right? And then you need to at least be getting volume off, right? Unless you're like at a fucking key reversal point. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, yeah, I don't really know what else I can say about management, really. Like, it's all like, basically, right? And the other super important thing about management is to make it a fucking priority, right? When as soon as I'm in a trade, right, my next thing is, if I haven't already got a target, right, I'm always gonna like my next job is to find a target, right? That's it. Like, first job, find out where you're getting out of that trade, right? Before it gets into any profit, before it does anything, like, literally, right? I'll be like this, right? Click the button, call them in. Okay, have I got a target? No, right? Find one now. Cool. Partial thing up, right? I'll take 50% off at this high, for instance, right? I'll close the rest of the volume up here. Cool, done. Trades managed. Move on. All right. Write a markup. Shout at Lewis, you know, do things that I enjoy doing. But yeah, that's it. It's like, that is your very first job, is to find a target. So essentially, all these highs are weak, so we never know anything. But yeah, like, in essence, this was the logical target for today. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. Like, this made a lot of sense to get taken out today. Right. And I mean, like, from the way I would be looking at this, overall, I'm still expecting now, definitely. Now we've had like, this break over here. Now we've had like that, not 4H boss, but Do you know what I mean? Like we've broken the correction now, right? I would be seeing it because we had a break and close above on 4H of that. I would still be seeing this as we've probably broken, like, that's the complex pullback, right? Like here runs low, here runs low, breaks the high that ran the low. So now I would be expecting that if this is in fact a complex pullback, that this is where price will, like, you know, we could come back down to this. We might just come off this as well. Me and Lewis talking about this. Like we've got essentially this is the flip, right? These wicks are the flip, right? And this is your extreme. Like anything down here is your extreme, basically. So yeah, those are the areas I would be expecting that to come to, if depending on what we do here. Like either this 15-minute low stays intact and we continue up and run that high, or we get a deeper correction from this POI here. The daily chart show didn't, yeah. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think like to me it makes sense. Yeah, it looks like it's going to pull back. It looks like all it's done now, right, is come down and generate liquidity for that future move to lower prices after, right? Like retrace back up to here, up here, yeah, something up here, and then melt them. That's what I'd be thinking at the moment. Yeah. Now we closed above that 4H high, especially. Yeah, but we'll see. You know, it's been a hard couple of weeks to call, that's for sure. But yeah. Hope that makes sense, everyone. Does anyone have any questions about that? Marvelous. I must have explained that perfectly. That's fucking medicine, bro. I wonder if this does continue, or I might react to that. I'm trying to stop or something, but yeah. Yeah. Yeah, like that's normally that's all like, well, yeah, it depends what I'm expecting. Like I tried to make that as clear as I could on the management chart of like, yeah, normally like if it's pro trend, I'll try to take off less volume, so that you've got more potential in the trade. And if it's counter trend, I'll take off more volume, because obviously, yeah, because it's counter trend, and that's bad. For want of a better word. Yeah, does that make sense? Yeah, this fucking thing, yeah. So I'll probably end up taking a break even on that. That's what it's hard to take from the but yeah, like here, this was an exception to the rule, right? Normally this trade here, I would have taken partials off here, right? But it's literally coming up to fucking major news, so it's like, cool, well, I at least on some volume, because then at least the slip can't completely fuck me. And luckily it didn't slip, and it went and ran very nicely. But yeah. Oh, it was a charge there. Ah, you could have shorted that then, couldn't you? Did anyone catch those shorts on the way down? I know Lewis did. I don't know whether anyone else caught any of the shorts. Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Good.
Joseph raised his hand. Got a question on it. Joseph got a question. Raise his hand.
Oh yeah.
Let me ask to 1 minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Fire over.
Do you want to go to the 4 hour for me,
15
or 15 minute?
minutes.
Yeah. So we're within this like 4 hour range, right? At what point, or actually, I think it's up here. At what point did you think like, okay, we're taking out that high? Oh,
Okay.
like
So
right here.
here, right after this, as soon as you see something like that, right, like that push was like, well, this is probably the target, like that, because it's like they've just essentially, right, we've had this massive run on liquidity, right, this massive run on liquidity, right, this high is, I mean, this whole thing is just looking like, do you see the aggression they start to move with, right? Especially this push in London, it was like, well, in theory, that should be the only target. I expected it to come a little bit higher. That's why I didn't take shorts, because I expected it to come into that, which it obviously didn't today. But yeah, that's like, the next target is going to be a big pool of liquidity, right? Like it could have been this, but nothing in here screamed to me that this was going to get a sell from it. Do you know what I mean? Like if you look at it, right, we've mitigated like this area once, right? I think I looked at the extreme up here and got a little sell to buy off it, right? But yeah, it didn't, the way it was moving, it just suggested to me that was always the target. Just like when they're moving with that aggression, right? Whereas more like here, when you start seeing it, like you see this whole big correction, right? Then this big correction, then this doesn't form like really nicely. It doesn't give you a good area to play off or anything. It's like, oh, well, maybe they'll react off the extreme here, right? Like that could be a thing at that point in time. But yeah, once this low got closed, it didn't get closed below again. It's like they've got to at least take out this high, and if they take out this high, they're probably taking out this high as well. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing else in here, but yeah. Does that make sense? Based on sorry. So for each, sorry, more cells, right? Yes, it does. Yeah. It was, but yeah, based on this momentum, right? Yes, this 4H range in theory says more cells, right? But yeah, like the whole way this thing's formed, and it's just like, yeah, the whole narrative of it, right? If you're looking here, like this is why I'm expecting this to eventually go, right? Because if we go down onto, and we look at daily, right? And we go, okay, what's daily done? Right, and we look at daily and we can say, okay, we've had a big sweep here, right? Yeah, exactly. That's been taken out, right? It's a change of character. Yeah, exactly. Complex pullback continuation, right? Like this is a significant supply level, you know, like, yeah, it's been traded above and there's obviously been a big reaction to this liquidity and they've been stacking more and more and more orders, right? But yeah, essentially that is what, once that supply goes, you can then start expecting that high to go. Do you know what I mean? I mean, even down here, like in theory, you could surmise that a trade from here should take out this high as well, right? So I got in what, 3 buys from down there, so 3-4 buys, some 3, I think, I can't remember, from down here, right? And I still had a decent amount of volume on and running when I ended up getting taken out for break even during that thing, right? Only like, I think it was like 15% of each or something, like, because obviously the trades have done a lot of R by that point, so I didn't want them to be thingy, right? But that's more volume than I'd normally like to get taken out break even, right? But yeah, cool. No worries at all, bro. Yeah, cool. Any other questions about anything? Can I go and enjoy my misery? moan to Lewis all night about how much of a cunt he is. Yeah, all right, sweet guys. Well, I hope that's a good one. And it is like, honestly, management cannot be fucking underemphasized, right? It's where we make our money. Like, good management is arguably the most important part of trading, right? Because it's literally where you take your profits.
Yeah, have rules and stick to them. Simple as that.
Exactly, literally stick to it and make it a fucking priority. As soon as you are in a trade, go and figure out, if you haven't done it already, if you're just, you know, like I do it a lot, like I'll just be sitting there watching price and I'll find an entry that makes sense. And I think, oh fuck, I've literally not got a target. Like I haven't even thought of it. Do you know what I mean? That part hasn't gone through my mind yet, right? But the next thing I'll do is I'll be like, right, cool. Well, let's go and figure this out. Okay, I've got in here. This could do this. This could do this. I'm in like I haven't quite got, like we didn't quite get to the bottom third. Okay, I'll find targets within this range or whatever. But yeah, cool. All right, guys, peace and love. I will chat to you all later. Bye.